Hi everybody. We're gonna just wait for Walker to get on. Hi. I just sent you something, Walker. Some kind of request. There we go.
Yay! I
Yay!
update my Instagram app because it had been a while, but
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. Very
yeah,
strange.
I'm
I
ready.
think they changed how it works a little bit too, actually. Or maybe my app's out of date too. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, great, great.
Well, let a few people keep
Hi,
coming in.
that's fun.
A lot of people are excited for you. I have a lot of questions.
Oh, great, great. I'm excited. It's so funny to like be talking to you like this because
Yeah.
just watching you talk,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's usually very like one way, and then when we actually get to chat, it's really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I am too. Okay, let's see. Okay, we could probably start.
Cool.
Um, so this is Walker, and she is Olive Ave Polish on YouTube. I'm sure you guys follow her already, and she also has her own brand, Olive Ave Polish. So I'm gonna start off with a couple of my questions first.
Great.
And how long have you been into polish?
Good question. So I think actually not that long, at least compared to some folks in our world. I started my channel like 3 years ago in May, and I
Mhm.
really got into polish like 3 years ago, January. So like kind of got into it and then got like really into it. Yeah, so I think pretty recently. Mhm.
Yeah, that is pretty recent because I know I go back like 10 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
A few
yeah.
of the other ladies too that I've talked to go back pretty far. Everybody says they're liking our hair. Thank you. I always like your curls. I'm jealous of people who have curls.
I mean, sometimes they look a little wild, but in this light, they happen to look good. So
Yeah. Um,
3 years for me too.
huh?
I'm looking at 3 years for somebody in the comments as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a long time too when you think about it. Three
Yeah,
years, it's a lot of polish.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And then, how long did you think about creating your own polish line before you actually like jumped right in?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, kind of from the first day that I got into polish, I was like, I wanted colors that I couldn't find, or I um, felt like I don't know, I wanted brands to be doing things differently. But I like actively probably thought about it for like a year and then was like actively taking steps for maybe like 8 months or something before my flora launched. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So that took a while.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I have a ton of viewer questions, so I'm gonna start with those. That way we don't run out of time.
Cool.
So Nails by Nemi wants to know, how did you come up with your YouTube and IG name, and does it mean anything?
Oh yeah, good question. So I live on Olive Ave, like Olive Avenue. Um,
Oh, okay.
that's where it came from. Yeah, yeah. And it's this is the house that my husband and I bought, 3 years ago, and or now almost 4 years ago. So I love it's yeah, that's what it means.
How long have you been married?
We're gonna have our 6th anniversary in September. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Very, very nice.
yeah, and we've known each other for almost 11 years. So
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, me
yeah.
and my husband are gonna go on 18 years this year.
Wow, wow. And you
Yeah.
have 2 kids, 3 kids?
Two kids. I have two boys. Yeah. My oldest will be 23 in May,
Wow,
and my youngest just turned 17. So,
wow. That's awesome.
yeah. I have a little neighbor and he was following me around. He every time I go outside for a walk, he follows me around. I think he's like 5. And
Oh,
he's always like, "Why do you walk in circles?" Because my neighborhood's aloof, and I'm like, "Because I just feel like walking."
just
But the
want
other day, he was asking me, are you a mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, how come your kids don't come out and ride bikes?" Because he's always riding his bike.
oh,
And I was like, "Oh, well, they're big already." I told him they're already 23 and 17. He's like, "Oh, you're not a mom anymore. They're adults."
no, you're always their mom.
It's so funny though. He's always like, "Do you want to come to my house? Can I go to your house? What are you eating for dinner?" Like he just talks my ear off like the whole time I'm out there.
You're like, I'm trying to just get my loops in, kid. I'm just trying to get my loops in.
But he's so funny. So she asks us, this is all Nails by Nimi. How hard is it not to copy collections already out there? Like how hard is it to come up with or, you know, curate unique colors?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of times, I think I've talked about this before, like I tend to have like an anchor shade, like the first one that came to mind for me, ones that I kind of build around it. And usually those are ones that I don't have in my collection, but I wish I did. And so I think that, like my collection, like the ones that I own, you know, and granted my collection, you know, like I said, I've only been into it for 3 years, so it's smaller than some other folks, but yeah, so I think, and then I try to actively like not put one out that is a duplicate, except for, you know, some of them like Scintillate was like, I was like, I have to have a winter color that looks like this, and so I don't care if it's like kind of similar to others that are in my polish collection. So, yeah, but that's a good question. That's a good question.
So the anchor color you mentioned, how does that kind of like, is that hard to come about, or like, are you just like, oh my gosh, this is this is it?
Yeah, good question. I think, I mean, they're kind of, so far they've been ones that I've like had in mind for a long time. Maybe I'll run out someday, but like I'm wearing Zinnia right now, and this one was actually, I almost put something like this last year in my spring collection, but then I don't know, I knew that I needed some more shimmers in there, so I did add calla lily as my green instead. And so then this year I was like, okay, I want to make sure that this one is in there, and I want it to fit with last year's colors, so, you know, I was make them all fit together.
I love that color too. I cannot wait. So I actually have her collection here, and I cannot wait to swatch it. I'm hoping to get to it this weekend, but here's my box. And I'm gonna pull them out just so you guys can kind of see. She put me a nice little card. Your card was so sweet too. I was like, thank you. And then you get some fun little flower stickers. You guys, look. I have all these fun Polish brand stickers that I stick on one of my organization things I have in here, and it looks really cool. So I'm gonna stick yours there. And then everything comes in a little box, and of course it's all eco-friendly. So I looked at everything, and I think the color you're wearing is actually my favorite based on just the colors I haven't swatched yet, but it's really pretty. It's like really my style, I feel like bright and fun. So I'm super excited to swatch those. I hope to have a video out hopefully this week.
Nice. I can't wait to see it.
They want to know, what is the hardest part of owning your own brand?
The hardest part. I think honestly it's like, you know, there's a little bit of, and maybe this is just my personality, but I kind of always feel like I could be doing something better than I am. And so there's like always something to be doing better with it, right? It's like I could be making better pictures or writing better comments, or I don't know.
Yeah. My personality is like that too. I know what you're saying. Like when I swatch, I look at other people's pictures and I'm like, it's always like a comparison, and I feel like a lot of the times I end up compared on the bottom. So
in your mind, not in anybody else's mind, right? But in your own mind.
Yeah, like you're your own worst critic. So I could see how that would be hard. Do you have any help, or do you do it all on your own? I think that part would be hard too, like the time.
Yeah, I do it all myself now. I mean, I get a lot of help from, you know, my husband will like listen to me, be like, how does this sound or something, which is nice. Or I'll like send pictures to my mom and my sister and be like,
oh, okay,
how colors look together, you know. But yeah, I do it myself, which is fun. But you know, then also I'm my own worst critic, so I spend a lot of time by myself up here. But
I saw the spring colors in the background behind you.
They're waiting to go get boxes for the launch on Sunday. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so she also wants to know your top 3 Zoyas. So we'll start with that part. This is like a multiple part question. So top 3 Zoyas.
My top 3 Zoyas. I feel like the spring ones are the ones that are top of mind for me right now because those are the colors I'm thinking about. So I think...
Isn't that pink in the spring line amazing?
It is so... And I don't like pink. You know I don't even...
Yeah, I saw that pink and I was like, oh.
So good. It's so good. I really loved Emerson, which I think was last year maybe. It's kind of like a periwinkle kind of. So that's probably one of my top ones. And then... I mean, I think I talk about Haruko all the time. Do you have that one?
I don't think I do.
It has like a very subtle spring shimmer, but it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, it's really nice.
B Jordan WI says, "Be careful dissing pink to me."
I'm not dissing it. I'm not dissing it. But yeah.
And
So,
then top 3 Olive Ave polishes. That's like gonna be hard because that's like picking your favorite child, I feel like.
right, exactly. Yeah, can you pick your favorite child? I don't know.
Some days I can. Some days no.
That's fair. That's fair. Most parents probably my top 3. I mean, I think I love the greens and the blues, so I love like palm trees is up there for me.
Oh, palm trees. I love palm trees.
So good. Yeah.
That's a good
Cornflower is the best seller, and I totally understand why. I love that one too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then I really like lilac, or that's coming in the spring collection. It's like the purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I just saw Jackie swatch that. Oh my gosh, perfect on her. I'm so excited about that too.
Yeah, yeah.
I
and
was
I
kind of wondering.
color.
Oh, go ahead. I think I talked over you. Go ahead.
Oh, her background in her photo was like the perfect color.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then I was kind of worried it was going to be a little too light for me, maybe. But when I saw it on her, I was like, oh no, I'm sold.
Okay, well, I hope you love it.
It's going to be perfect. And then top 3 from any other brand.
Oh man, from any other brand. Let's see. I love the from Cirque Colors, you know, they do the like speckled polishes.
Oh yeah.
I love them so much. Like acid wash is so fun.
I have that and I haven't worn it yet.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you would love it. It's really good. It's really good.
Maybe now for spring I'll get it out.
Yeah, it's for like Easter or something. It's perfect.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and last one. Hardest color to make and which polish was hardest to name?
Oh, which polish was hardest to name? I mean, honestly, probably zinnia. I think I had a lot of people be like, that's not the color of a zinnia. I was like, okay. But I knew I wanted it in the collection, and I knew that the theme was flora. But I really like zinnias. I think they're very pretty, and you can find some that are like green before they are like fully bloomed. So recently I had a hard time with that one.
Okay, and then I have a question from, oh my gosh, Viola Robert. That's how I'm going to pronounce that. Do you have a backstory or inspiration that ties all the collections together? Or do you worry about that?
I don't worry about that. They're all just colors that I like. I guess that's the backstory. Yeah.
I feel like when you do your comparisons, though, there are similarities between the seasons. Like when you're comparing, I'm like, oh, she always has like a nice green, or she always does like a nice this. So I do feel like you do have some cohesiveness like that way, but then everything's different too, which is nice. So Polish with Ray wants to know, she says, I know you were a teacher and admin. What grade levels and areas did you work in? So not Polish related.
Yeah, great. So I taught 7th and 8th grade math, and which was a blast. 7th and 8th graders are a riot. They're so fun.
You're a brave person.
I don't know that I could have done any younger, but 7th and 8th graders are really good. And then when I was an administrator, I worked with 9th graders, so we're also fun.
More like later, teen, or I guess earlier teen years.
Yeah.
That's a hard age, like such a hard age. I feel like the middle school age, like the kids are trying so hard to like figure out who they are and where do they fit in and who do they want to be. Yeah. It's just, that is such a hard age. I have a friend that teaches at a middle school and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's so hard. Yeah. And
it is
new for them. They like feel things they never felt before, and it's
my both my kids had kind of not a hard time, but just things were like different, and it was noticeably different for them during the middle school years. But then they've gotten better as it's gone on. But yeah, it's like just a very hard. I remember it being hard when I was that age too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would not go back. I would not.
No, me either. I had braces. It was a mess.
Yep.
Okay, so Stay Polished 2020. She has a ton of questions as well. Do you have any nail goals for 2021, like personal nail goals?
Oh, that's a great question. I do want to try to like reduce my collection a little bit, because I do have a bunch that I swatched and never wore. I mean, I'm sure you have the same thing, right? And
Yeah.
myself to one set of drawers, and I kind of expanded out of that. So I'm trying to do a little more destashing, but hey, oh, my cat just came to visit us.
Oh, nice.
But
I just have such a hard time destashing. I don't know what it is like that I have this very intense attachment to like inanimate objects.
well, I feel like you have such beautiful storage back there. I mean, it's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
I do, but so right now I'm at the point where I have all my PRs in a pile on the floor next to my desk. Then I have a box of PR that I've already like swatched and filmed on that I haven't put away yet because I like literally don't have room, but I'm pretending I do. Like it's just on the side.
I totally.
I have a box that I'm planning to eventually do a destash with that isn't as full as it could or should be. So,
Yeah. Well, and destashing is kind of a lot of work. Like it takes a lot of
yes.
time, not just a easy thing. Yeah.
I was talking to V about that actually because she was talking about possibly doing a destash as well. And I was like, I don't think I'm mentally prepared to drive to the post office, buy packing material, make sure everybody paid me. Like, I'm busy enough.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
don't know. Nails by Nemi wants to know, oh, how cute. Do you have any tips for destashing?
Oh, that's a good question. I love using PayPal to get to pay because it's easy to send people invoices. I don't know if you do that, but I find it so easy because then it's easier to keep track of who's paid for
Yeah,
what.
that makes sense.
The first time I did it, I just like took notes and it was a disaster.
Did you find this?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Hope you enjoyed.
Okay. Pretty Poised and Polished says she has 2 full racks of Zoya because of you, Walker.
I hope they're all ones that you love. I hope you love.
Okay, next question. Do you have any 2021 polish goals for your brand?
That's such a good question. Yeah, so I am let's see, do I have 2021 polish goals that I can tell you because they're not still secret? That's a good question.
Yes, there's always secrets.
Because I have a couple things that I'm hoping to do this summer that we will see if I have my act together enough to do. But I really wanted to focus on my like product photography last winter. So like I bought a new camera and I've been learning or a new lens. And that's been really fun. I don't know that that's going to be a huge, that I don't know that you'll notice it a ton, but I'm having fun learning how to do it. So.
Oh, that's cool.
My cat is over here going crazy.
I am not a cat person, like at all.
No? Are you a dog person or neither?
If I have to pick between cat or dog, I go dog. And I do have a dog, but my kids like literally cried for this dog and I was like, fine. And so, and then of course they've like completely forgotten him. So now it's like me and my husband take care of him all the time. Yeah. And, but cats freak me out. And I think cats know that they freak me out because when I go to somebody's house who has a cat, like they literally will sit and like stare at me and like, I don't know. I think cats can feel my cat tension.
No.
No,
I think that's real.
I think dogs are like more easy to read. That's why.
I mean, I think my cat is easy to read because I spend all day with them, so I know exactly what their moods are, but I can see that. I can do that.
What is your favorite Olive Ave product? So we kind of touched on that a little bit. To me, product kind of opens it up though to more like, do you like the oil? Because you have cuticle oils and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. I think I love, someone says they can smell your fear.
They can. I totally believe that they can.
They're pretty smart, right?
And they're like, if you're afraid now, wait till I scare you even more.
Right. All they do is look at you and they'll make you afraid. Yeah. I like my top coat. I think that's probably my favorite of the like products. Yeah.
Very nice. And what is your least favorite color to wear?
Pink. Sorry.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Like there are some that are so wonderful and I love them, but the majority, it's not like I don't know that I've ever seen a blue or a green that I didn't love to wear, but
do you feel like pink doesn't look good on you, or it's not your style?
I think it's just not my style. Because I feel like when I post a pink, oftentimes people are like, "Oh, it looks so good on you," and I'm like, "Really?" I don't know. But
Yeah. Oh man. I'm trying to think of my least favorite color to wear.
Do you have a least favorite?
I there's colors I don't. You know what I do not like to wear is white. I don't wear a lot of white
Really?
polish. I always feel like it's hard to apply and make look nice. One,
Mm.
or maybe it's just my bad polishing skills. I don't know.
No, it's not just you.
And then I feel like after a couple days, like if I go past my usual like 2 days, it kind of gets a little dingy looking.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah,
Do
I'm
you
not
like in it? Like, do you like a white crowley or something?
white crowleys I'll wear, but just like a plain white cream or like those like shimmery white polishes. Not
Oh,
really my thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I like more bright.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What was the inspiration for Olive Ave Polish?
Like, why did I start it? I I think I talked about this a little bit before. Like, there were colors that I wanted to have in the world. Um, and I think, I think there are some brands, my cat is going to knock stuff off this table. It's going to be really loud. Sorry. Um, I think I got like frustrated seeing the exact same colors just over and over again. And I think I love Zoya, but I think they do this too, right? They're like,
Yes,
here's
all
a
the
product that's
things do.
slightly different than the one in the summer.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I bet that it's possible to make collections that are unique and not just like repetitive. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like OPI has gotten really bad about that lately. I feel like when I first got into polish, OPI was being like a lot more experimental.
hmm,
They were doing a lot of glitters and they were doing a lot of like just interesting, fun things. And maybe that's because that was what was trendy in nails at the time. But I feel like now it's just like creams every time.
yeah,
There's always gonna be a red. And
yeah,
I'm not a red wearer, so I'm always like, who needs a red? And
yeah.
so
It's pinks.
yeah, they always have a pink. They always have just like kind of the same things. And there's always like two or three from every collection that I end up buying because I feel like they are different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like I wish mainstreams would get a little bit more creative again. I really do.
Or just stop putting out 12 polishes. Like only put out the 6. We don't need 17 more.
Yeah.
But
And
I
Zoe's been doing that, huh? The last two collections have been six.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see.
Which has been nice for swatching, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a lot faster.
When you get the 12, I'm like, oh, they're nice, but man, that's a lot to swatch. So this is a really good question, and I actually wanted to ask you this too. How did you start your cruelty-free vegan polish journey?
That's a good question. So I've been vegan since I was 16 actually, and so I didn't always, when I first went vegan, I wasn't like as concerned about the products that I was using. I also, when I was 16, I wasn't like buying all my own products, right?
Yeah. Or it
And
was cheap. As was me. I'm like, give me whatever's cheapest.
exactly. Right. Yeah. But I think I don't know. It was probably like maybe 5 or 6 years ago that I started trying to like for other things, not just my food, try to make them like match, be cruelty free. And that was actually I think why I wasn't into polish for a long time was because I just assumed that it was hard to get vegan and cruelty free nail polish. I guess I really done any research. And so that's how I got into Zoya. I like got a manicure with a friend on one of my school vacations. I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. And then did research, and that's how I found Zoya. Was like everything online said that they were the best vegan and cruelty-free brand. But so yeah.
So you've never done not vegan cruelty-free polish. You started right into that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I was like in high school, and younger, I would do my nails every once in a while, but I wasn't super. So like I distinctly remember having an OPI orange that I would paint my toenails like every other week. I would just redo this orange on my toes for like one whole summer when I was in high school.
Nice.
And I didn't know any different, Yeah.
So did you go vegan for like health reasons or?
It was kind of a combination of a lot of things. I had been vegetarian for a really long time. And it was like mostly environmental stuff when I was in high school. I was like did a lot of reading about the impact of farming and stuff.
The beef industry is really huge in like environmental impact. I had read about that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm gonna ask a bunch of vegan questions because I don't know anybody who's vegan.
Yeah, go
So,
for it.
like, what kind of stuff do you eat? Like, how do you get, like, not that I get all my nutrients either, you know, but like, how do you kind of make sure that you get a little bit of everything in there?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think I, just like anybody else would when they're trying to be healthy, right? I try to eat like a variety of foods. So I'm not eating pasta every single day. And I eat a lot of vegetables, which just like anybody who's trying to be healthy is going to try and eat a lot of plants, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just try to like make sure I have variety and that I'm eating not just carbs every day, all day, even though that's what I want to eat.
Oh, girl, tell me about it. I am such a carb addict. It's horrible.
They're so good. Yeah.
So, does vegan mean you don't do dairy?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't do dairy?
Yeah, no dairy. So no
Okay.
cheese. This cat is eating boxes over here.
No cheese. Oh gosh. So do you eat eggs?
No.
No eggs. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a very picky eater. I would have a hard time being vegan. Like I eat a lot of the same things over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was actually reading something. So I don't like my food to touch when I eat.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like if my green beans juice get on my chicken, I'm like, no, done. Or like if my corn juice gets on my bread, done.
Yeah.
And so I was actually reading that that could be a form of like OCD.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
It's like very extreme. But I have like trays, foods that look like, or my plates look like cafeteria trays.
Oh,
And
wow.
everything's like divided.
Oh my gosh. Are there other people in your family who are like that too, or is it mom's like that and everybody else is?
No, I'm the only one. So my kids were, my older son was very picky when he was younger, but he's like completely outgrown it, thank God. My younger son is still picky, but I think I'm pickier.
Interesting. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, my husband eats everything except for menudo. That's the only thing he will not eat. But yeah, it's weird because I don't, my parents aren't like that or anything. And I don't even know like how that started. Like I've just always been like that.
Yeah.
Which
Interesting.
is interesting. So someone said I'm like Monk. He has severe OCD on that show. I've never seen it, but yeah, it's very bizarre. And there's a guy I work with that's like that too.
Huh, with his
And
food.
we're both super, super picky, and people, we always have contests like, "Oh, do you eat this?" And we're like, "No," but I think I eat more than he does. So he's like the one person I know that's pickier than I am.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
So someone wants to know what are your favorite dishes to make?
Oh. Um, let's see. I mean, I love to make pretty much anything with pasta. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like pasta with like olives and capers. I really like salty, briny foods.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's probably my favorite thing to make. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to make more like food that's traditional to here. Like I love to make green chili chicken enchiladas.
Mm.
We eat this thing called Frito pies where you put like Fritos, pinto beans, red chili, cheese.
I think I've heard
um,
about that with
yeah, with Diana.
yes, yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, so we eat a lot of that kind of stuff that's like really, really bad for you.
Yeah.
Oh, someone says here my middle son is like that. He asks for separate plates so his food does not touch.
Oh,
He
you're
knows
not
what's up. I'm not alone. Okay, so brands you don't trust or support when it comes to vegan or cruelty free. Like, are there any brands you just do you feel like it's hard? What am I trying? So that was her question, but I'm kind of like expanding. Do you feel like it's easy to claim to be vegan and cruelty free even though you aren't? I guess.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. You could do it right. Especially cruelty free. Like vegan is a little harder because as long as you publish your ingredients, like somebody can I mean, I guess you could lie about that, but that would be like
Yeah.
ingredients is pretty bad. But like cruelty free for sure because you don't, I trust usually like smaller brands, like most of the indies, say they're cruelty free, and I and because I know that they're, they only buy from a couple suppliers, and they're probably not testing their own products on animals, right? They might
Yeah.
just, and they're conscious enough they're one person buying from a bigger company. But bigger brands that haven't done the certification, I I tend not to trust them. I mean, I know Zoya actually hasn't, which is something that people ask me about sometimes. But they've been like pretty consistent in their messaging for a really long time. So,
And the certification, the Leaping Bunny, is that what you're talking about?
yeah, there's a couple of them that you can do, but that's the one that's like the most rigorous, I guess. Yeah, so I don't buy like Essie or OPI. I think are the two like big ones that I don't buy. But they don't say that they're cruelty free. They just.
And China glaze, right? You don't do China glaze either.
I don't, but I feel like that one's a little bit more of a like some people do consider them cruelty free. So I honestly just haven't, I think, done a ton of research recently in order to. And I feel like I don't really need any more brand list to watch.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. Sometimes it gets overwhelming, huh?
You have a in the comments here too. Nails by Emmy like Sprito pies, so you're not wrong.
Well, yes, they're amazing. So how long does it take you to like curate a collection start to finish? Like
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, so it probably takes me, you know, a couple weeks to come up with like the palette, but then it takes, oh my gosh, like Constellation just to get that one polish took like 6 months because they just, everything was a disaster in the supply chains.
Yeah. Well, did COVID slow things down for you too? I would assume it did.
It did. Yeah, I think it like interrupted random pieces. Like it was really hard for a while to get bottles, glass bottles. And then we could get bottles, but then we couldn't get like some of the pigments and some of the glitters. So I think every company has been having some trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know we had some issues at work getting some of our things as well. So yeah. Pretty Poison Polish says, I don't understand why brands wouldn't be cruelty free. This is something I should look more into. Thank you. Yeah. And then Mercedes just joined. Hi, Mercedes.
Hi, Mercedes.
And Polished by Diana said, didn't Essie recently go cruelty free? I haven't heard. I don't know. I don't keep track of that, so I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I know that a couple of the brands came out with like they're calling them more like natural or plant-based ones. Like you can have a vegan formula and still not be cruelty free, right? You could have a product that doesn't have any animal products in it, but could still test on animals.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know Color Club put out some like water-based polishes. I don't know what that entails as far as vegan or cruelty free, but they were horrible.
Yeah, that sounds not great.
Yeah, I was like, this is not good.
Ashley just asked if I use ILNP, and I don't, because I actually have not been able to verify their status. I do like drool over them because they make some beautiful stuff, but I've never been able to verify their status. So
yeah, I only have like one ILNP, and then there was some controversy with them a few months back. I guess they don't, and it's pretty obvious by their stuff, but they don't send out a lot of PR to like biopic swatchers.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so
what
inspires a collection's color story? Or I always feel like your color stories are really good. Like, you know, I like the way that you come up with like the color selections for the thing. Do you have like a way that you come up with that, or is it more just like natural, like an organic process?
I mean, so I get the like physical way that I use like on my computer, I'll like take shots of things that look good together and then kind of like crop the colors so that I can see them together.
Yeah.
And so I do like a lot of like trying to see the colors together and think about how they fit as a story. I think about that probably more than I think about individual shades, but then I spend more time refining, thinking about them as a whole.
Yeah.
Because that's my favorite part, is trying to make them all fit together. You know, I think
you do a really good job. I'm always like, oh, these look nice together.
Thank you.
Do you have like, so you do like an inspo board kind of thing?
Yeah, I do it in like PicMonkey. I'll like screenshot stuff and then, you know, zoom in on just the color that I like. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. Let's do that. I wanted to ask you about your sewing. How long have you sewed for?
Good question. I have been sewing. I guess my mom taught me to sew like when I was a kid. The quilter. She's so talented. She makes gorgeous stuff. But I started sewing clothes actually when I was teaching. So like 8 years ago, because I was really busy and really stressed and needed something that was for me. So I started sewing clothes. yeah, like 8 years ago. And now for the last year, I've really only sewn masks, but that's okay.
I said that.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Yeah.
So do you sew your own clothes? Like you sew clothes and then you for sew them wear them, I assume.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I've always wanted to know how to sew, and I've actually tried it, and I am horrible. Like
Oh no,
horrible.
you need practice. Maybe you just need
I
practice.
cannot sew a straight line to save my life.
Have you
That's,
seen or you tried to do it by hand?
I've tried with a machine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was not
Yeah.
pretty.
It takes practice, you know? It takes practice.
Yeah, my mom actually just got a newer sewing machine, and she's not, like super advanced, but she's pretty good. And she's like, "Come by, try it." And
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I haven't gone by again, but I'm like, I am so horrible.
You could learn anything if you tried, but you may not care to put the, time in it.
That's the thing too. Yeah, am I willing to put the effort? I guess because I think it would be so fun to sew your own clothes. I would like to do that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so when you were little, and then with so now that you're doing the Olive Ave polish, have you cut down on a lot of your PR swatching?
I have, yeah. I just realized, I love swatching. I think it's really fun, but I got to a point like maybe beginning of last summer, where I just felt so overwhelmed. And like I just felt like I was letting down these brands, even though
Mhm.
I'm sure they're not like heartbroken that I'm 2 weeks late or whatever, but
Mhm.
I just didn't want to be like committing to things that I couldn't do. And so I don't take if a brand asks me to swatch and like gives me a deadline, I like don't take it anymore, because I'm like, unless they're gonna pay me, which nobody's paying me to do it. So I'm just like, I'll just because I can't commit to it.
Yeah.
So I'm still watching Zoya because I love it, obviously, and
Yeah. And they're like really chill with it.
they're so chill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you're doing polish. I saw that.
Yep. Yep. And she's pretty chill too. I mean, she, I'm sure if I like stopped posting them around the launch date, she would probably start sending them to somebody else. But she doesn't have a deadline or which
Okay,
is
cool.
yeah.
So yeah, I know I'm kind of at the point you were at last summer right now.
It's a
It
lot.
gets overwhelming. It does. And I feel like I was able to do a lot more because COVID was happening, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
just at home, so I might as well be swatching.
Yeah.
But now my state is finally starting to open up a little bit, and I'm like, I can't keep up this pace,
Yeah.
when other things are going to be going on.
Yeah. 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 And I,
So,
like, oh, boo-hoo, I have too much free nail polish, right? Like, I feel a little, I understand that that's kind of,
yeah.
right? But I also think that, like, brands should, I don't know.
Well, I think it's a lot more work than a lot of people who don't do it think.
Yeah.
It's more than just the free polish. Like, it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Pretty much most of my weekends are spent swatching.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I have so much I do it during the, when I get home from work too.
Yeah.
And it's a time commitment for sure.
Yeah. 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 I had one brand ask, I said, oh, I can't send photos on a deadline, but like, if you'd be willing to be flexible, I'm happy to, get as close to your deadline as I can. And they were like, oh, well, what if you just did a video? And I was like, the video takes me like 8 hours.
The video is even more time and more work.
They didn't mean anything by that, right? Like they just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like sometimes when I just swatch, and then there's times I haven't had time to make a video, I'm like, well, that wasn't as like long as of a process when you actually have to do the video and edit it and film and put your pictures in. And
Yeah.
So how far out do you have your future collections planned? Polished by Diana wants to know.
I mean, so I have like concepts, like I have like, my little boards through like next summer, like
Oh wow.
22. But I don't have like the actual polishes. Like I haven't started for summer next year. I haven't, but like about a year is when I start. Just because it takes a long time to, if something's not right the first time, it takes time to fix it and
get it back. That makes sense. That's like way longer than I thought though. Now that you say it, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Hey Mercedes says you're so creative with all your lunches, Walker.
Oh, she's so great. She's so great.
Isn't she? I love her. And her baby. Oh my gosh. Every time she posts her baby, like I literally, my heart melts.
Yeah, so cute. And I think we live in the same state, I think, right, Mercedes? We had great weather this week. It's beautiful.
Oh, you guys are, we did too, except it got really, really windy. But I'm
Oh.
happy to change the clocks. Are you glad we're changing the clocks?
Yeah, although it always throws me off for like a
Oh,
week.
mhm.
My
Well, this
sleep.
is the harder one because it's harder to get up.
Yep.
But oh, when it's sunny till like 8 o'clock, I'm in heaven.
So nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Mercedes said thank you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, that little boy, man. Oh, the baby just and then she has two boys, right? And I have two boys, so it like takes me back to when my kids were small, and I get all like emotional. And she posts me like, I feel like I've been a lot more emotional since I had my surgery too, though.
yeah.
It's like my hormones are still kind of like, ooh, what's going on?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So, Nails by Nami wants to know, do you mix your own polish?
Oh, no, I don't. I have a lab that I work with. I'm getting a bedtime reminder on my phone.
I'm keeping you up.
Oh, on like a weeknight, like a work night, yeah.
So since you don't mix them, how does that work? Like, do you send them pictures and then they kind of try and match it, or do they have the polishes made and then you kind of match it?
So you can do it like a lot of different ways. I mean, they'll like you could like send them a fabric swatch, but like some of the they also just have like the Pantone like catalog basically, like any color,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it kind of depends on the kind of polish. And, yeah, whether I've done it before, whether they've done it before, and then we have to go a little differently depending on where we're starting from.
Okay. So they can kind of tweak it more to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're like, I want it more light or, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. What made you go to the white brush?
What made me go to the wide brush? I mean, I think maybe because I wasn't into polish for as long, I was like relatively new. I was like, this is just the brush. Like, it's fine. It works great. And so I was like, absolutely not.
No.
But a lot of people told me they really prefer the wide brush. And I totally hear that. And I was like, if this is what the people want, then,
Yeah, team wide brush here.
Sure. And I do feel like I get it. Like it's easier for some of the like lighter colors, right? It definitely makes the application a little bit smoother. So
Yeah, and I feel like I have a lot less cleanup with the white brush too. I love your new brush. When I swatched the last collection, I was like, oh my gosh, this brush.
I mean, I'm kind of picky about it because I feel like some brands have wide brushes that are really wide and they
a
just
little too wide.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, especially like I always tell me I have little tiny T-Rex hands, but when I have like my pinky is so tiny, and when I do Sally Hansen, like the brush is almost like this wider than my nail bed.
And then you do have to clean up, right? Because it's all over.
Yeah, it's just like you're just like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always tell me I have T-Rex hands. I feel like my hands are so small, and I see how all these people do like bottle holding, and I told her I can't do it because my hand isn't big enough.
Like your fingers are too short. They don't. Well, you can't. I have never once thought that, and I've looked at a lot of pictures of your hands. So
yeah, I know. She's like, you're ridiculous, and I'm like, girl, you have not seen my hands in person. They're tiny.
That's so.
I always try to experiment with like different bottle holds, and I'm like, you can't. It's not working. Nope, not working. Who thinks that would be hard, right? How to hold a polished bottle?
No, but it is. It really
is. It so is. I'm like, I don't know how this is hard, like holding something, but it is.
The one thing ever. I don't ever change it because I'm just like, this is it. This works for me. This is what I can do.
Someone says, oh man, I hear you on the small hands and trying to pose. See, she gets it. Because I see some poses and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. I'm going to try it. Yep. And then I'm like, you can't even, like my hand doesn't even wrap around the bottle enough to see the polish. And I'm like, how do these people do it?
We all have our niche, right? We've all got our like area of expertise, and
yeah, definitely. And it's funny because I'm like you. I have like 3 poses I really like, and I'm like, these are the poses till the day I die.
I feel like that's fine. It's served you well so far, right?
I'm going to migrate with these poses.
A lot of small hands in the comments here. They're all very, very.
Yeah. Mercedes is still working on her bottle holding pose. I like Mercedes when you do like the little bit of the sweater. I always think that looks so cute. And I'm like, I should try that, but then I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel like I have so much to swatch, right? Like I'm just like gotta get this out. Like I don't have time to be artsy fartsy. I don't have time to like get a tree branch and
No.
do do, do all this stuff. Like I just gotta get it out.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I wished I could because I feel like some people's swatches are like very artistic.
Very artistic.
Like
Yeah.
V is one like that. V's swatches are like in another world to me.
Awesome. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like, I wish I could like put time into that, but
yeah,
I'm like,
I think that's why I've been having a lot of fun playing with my product photography, like getting because it's like a constrained just this project, right? It's not like every time I sit down to swatch, and it's just like it's fun to try to new ways to prop them up or display them or whatever. But yeah.
I like that picture you just posted with all the spring stuff and like those flowers. That was really pretty. I really liked that.
I was very proud of that. I showed my husband. I was like, don't you, he doesn't follow my business on Instagram because he only follows like 15 people on Instagram. And so I always show him and I say, oh, I like it. I'm like, yeah, I just wish you would like actually like it. But
yeah, hit the follow.
But he, and he only got advertisements for nail polish. And so then he stopped.
I know my sister follows me and she's not into polish, but she's like, oh, I get all these polished things now.
Yeah, well, the algorithm is trying to figure her out.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a question and it just like,
oh yeah.
I feel like I'm dumber since surgery too.
You're just probably tired. Your body's trying to heal. It's important.
Like, I even told him at work, I was like, you guys, like, I am literally dumb right now. Like, don't trust me to do anything by myself. Like, you guys need to be on me. It's been rough.
Sure. I'm sure.
Jessica Silva wants to know, do you do all your own swatching? I'm not familiar with your brand. Love learning more about you and your brand.
Oh, that's a good question. I send out swatches to, or polish to kind of two groups of folks. I send them to some folks who we got it. We figured out that it was a question. To folks to like do pictures for my website that I'm prescriptive. I'm like, I want it on a white background and I need it by this time. And so I have like a bunch of folks who do that. And then I also send it to lots of folks just because I want them to have it and enjoy it.
Yeah, like I'll be swatching this collection. I have it already.
I can't wait.
I know, I'm excited. I pulled them all out and I was like, ooh. Well, it was funny because it seemed like your package took a long time to get here.
So I feel like we had a couple weeks where things were back to normal, but recently, like since the beginning of March, maybe, I think things are back to, they're taking as long as they were like around the holidays.
I know. I think so too, because I've been waiting on a few things and I was like, man, it's taking forever. And then I would track it and it just, and then sometimes it'll be like, you know, in Albuquerque, which is like an hour and a half from me, and it'll take like 3 days to get here. I'm like, I know it doesn't take that. I could drive and go get it and come back. Yeah, it's weird whatever's up with the post office.
Texas was, when Texas was having so much trouble a couple weeks ago, right? That like backed a lot of things up, which
it did.
Makes sense. It's a huge state, right? So.
Yeah, because when we, so I run like a warehouse at work, and we actually got emails saying to expect like, I think they shut down like one distribution plant for like 5 days because of the weather.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that slowed a lot of stuff down.
Yeah.
So are you still in the teaching thing?
I work at a nonprofit now that like we support teachers. So we like are education adjacent, I think is what we call ourselves. So we like I don't work in schools anymore, but I have colleagues who before COVID, like we're going into schools every day and coaching teachers, and then I do our operations, so I support those people and make sure that they can do their jobs well. So.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Really cool. So what is your degree in?
Not related to that. My degree in like political science and economics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then I taught math, which was like kind of related to my economics degree. And now I do all like operations and logistics, which is kind of like just feels like solving puzzles all the time, which is also kind of math. So
yeah. So my elder son's getting a degree in accounting.
Oh.
And then he's gonna try and take his CPA exams, the first two, like here soon. So
That's a lot of work, right?
see how that goes. Yeah, I know he's always studying for things. It's like getting burnt out already.
Oh no, and he's not even working yet, right? Or like not in that field, yeah.
No, so he actually works at a hardware store. So he has a bachelor's in accounting, and then he's getting his master's in May. And he's
Oh,
like,
wow.
I can't believe I have a bachelor's degree and I work at a hardware store. And I was like, it's money.
Yeah, but he's also getting his master's degree, which takes time. Couldn't be.
Yeah. So someone joined late. She says she hopes this hasn't been asked. What is your favorite mainstream polish and favorite polish you have made? So kind of asked, but if you want to answer again.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. My favorite mainstream I mean, I think, okay, I said Haruko and I said Emerson. I also really like, oh my gosh, there's just so many. How do you even pick?
You always post, you talk about that really weird green. I'm bad with the names.
The weird green. Dree, that one. That's like or Arbor maybe?
Arbor, that's the one.
It's like kind of a olive plus yellow. Yeah.
I don't have that one, but you make me want to buy it.
It's beautiful. I think it would probably look really good on you, I feel like. It maybe
Yeah, and it's sort of pretty ugly, which I do like.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
And then favorite polish that you've made?
It's so hard. It's so like my favorite cat or something. I can't pick.
No, you can't.
I totally have a favorite cat. I think probably palm trees is probably my favorite of mine.
That's my favorite too. I think that green is just perfect. It's so flattering. And then it like works for like spring, summer, which is my favorite season. Great formula. It really reminded me of China Glaze's 4-leaf clover, which is one of like my favorite polishes of all time.
Oh, interesting.
So, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. I already knew. So what made you decide like to get into YouTube?
Good question. I mean, honestly, I was like watching other people when I got into Zoya and I would start looking at the Zoya website and I was like, God, there are so many colors on here. I just don't know which ones to pick. And so then I somehow got to YouTube and I found, I think the first people that I started watching were like Olive Ave and
I love Olive Ave.
Oh, I love her too. She's so great. And Heather D, who doesn't make videos anymore.
Oh, I miss Heather D.
Oh, her Zoya videos were so, I mean, all of her videos were so fun. And her cat, I mean, they probably are still cute. I just don't see them anymore.
Yeah, she would talk a lot, but I loved it. She'd always be like, this video is so long. And I'm like, keep talking, girl.
Yep. And then I started finding other people who talked about all kinds of stuff, right? Like Amanda Alexander, your channel. Yeah, and everybody just seemed like they were having so much fun talking about nail polish. And I really wanted to do comparisons because that's what I was looking for. Like I was like, how do I know which to buy, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, maybe I'll have as much fun as all these people do. So, yeah.
So B Jordan WI says she misses Heather, but her wallet does not. That is a good point.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I always used to freak out too because she would have like tons of Cadillacers. And I'm like always like very like, oh, Cadillacer, like I better not buy any because there's just some brands I avoid for price because I want to say I'm cheap, but then I'm like, really, how much have I spent? But like,
yeah.
You know, for one individual polish bottle, sometimes I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah. And I've heard that the formulas can be kind of hit or miss, and I would hate to spend that much and then get one that's not, you know.
That you don't love. Yes. Speaking of that, do you have a most expensive polish that we would be like?
Good question. I did. So I bought, when I first got into Zoya, there's like a couple people on eBay who just sell like large like boxes of Zoyas. And I bought a box and it was like $100 for 12 polishes or something, or maybe a little more than that, maybe like 15 polishes. And one of the polishes in that box was Phoebe, which is like one of the matte velvets that they released in like 2016. Have you tried any of them?
No, I don't have any of those.
Okay, these are like neon ones. The formula is trash. The neon, it's matte, it's so bad.
Sounds like Streak City.
Yes, yeah. But they only released them for a very short period of time, and so now, like, if you sell them on eBay, you can sell them for like $60. But I got it as like part of this bundle, so I actually still gave it to Heather. She bought it for like $3 in my D-stash.
Well, at least you're not a price gouger.
No, yeah.
The nail polish community is so amazing, Mercedes says. I really never knew it existed until I joined Instagram a few years ago.
It's so nice.
Then Jen's Nails 82 says she misses Miss Halle Berry's and Just Face 90.
Yeah.
I miss Miss Halle Berry's. I used to watch her a lot. And Just Face 90. I think Just Face 90 maybe might come back after she has her baby, but she said that making videos gives her anxiety, which I kind of get sometimes.
Yeah, especially she has like so many people watch them, right? I feel like it'd be hard for her.
Well, I just like, again, you're your own worst critic, right?
Yeah, totally.
Walker got me into polish and my wallet suffered. Sorry.
No, I know. And I spent so much money in polish before she started sending them to me. Because they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful.
So Mal 3178 says, is there a brand you want to try but haven't yet, and why?
Oh, good question. Nothing that's like coming to mind for me. Do you have any that you've wanted to try?
I'm trying to think. I've tried quite a few.
Yeah, I've wanted to try Painted Flanges, which is Angie's brand.
Yeah,
I for videos. And I just haven't, honestly. I think I just have been overwhelmed by way too many.
So Cuticula was on my like watch list, and then I just went off the deep end and bought like a ton of Cuticulas. So that would have probably been the one. There has to be something. I'm always like just looking at stuff like, oh, I should buy this. Oh, I should buy this. And then I'm just like, you can't buy everything. You have to stop. So
yeah.
But yeah, Cuticula was the latest brand I was obsessed with, but I finally did end up buying stuff, and I really liked it. If you guys haven't tried Cuticula, I thought it was really did you start on Instagram or YouTube first?
I started on Instagram first, but like only like 2 months first. Like I think I started in March and I had my channel in May, so it was like,
oh, okay, so not too far apart. I started mine on the same time. So as soon as I made my YouTube, I made my Instagram. I was actually posting my nails on my personal page, and then a few of my friends actually were like, oh, this is cool, but and then I actually had a few nail accounts that followed my personal page, but then I switched over to my nail page.
But you knew you wanted to make YouTube as well right away. Awesome.
So I had been thinking about YouTube for a while, and then my niece Kylie kind of like was like, well, because I was like, I don't know how to edit video. Like I'm totally like tech opposite of savvy. And so my 10-year-old niece, well, so she's 13 now, so she was 10 then, actually showed me how to edit YouTube videos. It's like embarrassing to admit. She actually made my YouTube channel, put all the pictures on it, and then showed me how to edit videos. And so she kind of was like, just do it, Auntie Josie, do it. And I was like, okay. And then my first video is so cringeworthy.
Oh, I mean, mine too. Yeah.
Chris, oh my goodness. Chris Woves Makeup. I like that name. Do you buy polish from Polish Pickup or IPU?
I feel like that is a rabbit hole that once I go
it is.
Will never leave. So I don't buy from Polish Pickup. I admire them. You know, there are lots of people that post gorgeous swatches, but I just feel like, yeah, I don't love like limited edition stuff because then I feel weird when I talk about it, you know, on my channel or something because nobody can ever get it. So, yeah.
Limited edition is a freaking brain trap. That is, whoever thought of limited edition is a genius. That's all I have to say. I do buy Polish Pickup and IPU. And yeah, it is a rabbit hole. I think I've skipped maybe 4 months total, and I've been buying for like 3 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I actually skipped last month because I went so hard for Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find some questions. Sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Let's see. So Jen's Nails 82 says it's overwhelming. There's so many indie brands now. Whenever I have money, it takes me days to figure out what to buy from. That is so true. And everybody's releasing collections like back to back to back to back. Like I can't even keep track.
No, yeah.
Like even just swatching, I have probably your collection launches this week. I have a Pepper Pot collection launching this week. Moonshine Manny launches this week. Colores de Carol launched today.
Gosh, oh my gosh.
And there was something else, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And if I weren't swatching, I think that would be even more overwhelming. Like there's all this polish.
Yeah, just to keep track. Yeah.
So nail polish dot my love said, "Hi Walker, she misses your Manny Monday videos."
Oh, I miss those too. I've been thinking about maybe bringing them back like once a month or something. I just similarly, it was like when I was home and couldn't do anything, it was
Mm-hmm.
something I could do.
Yeah. I feel like when COVID hit, we found a lot of extra time on our hands, and now that we're going back into our lives, you know, a lot of stuff is probably gonna be like even this lives. I probably will have to pick another day because my son's gonna start playing baseball again.
Oh, that's good. That's so good.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. Nails by Nemi says her 8-year-old daughter Zoe wants to ask, "What is your favorite formula to wear?" I already know the answer to this.
Oh, what do you think my favorite is?
Creams. I love creams too.
They're so good. Yeah.
I feel like we're in the minority there though, with the love of creams.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. But I just love, I think I've said this before, like it just feels like me, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
it just feels like, yeah, I just feel so good when I wear a cream. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when you have a good cream and a good formula and you put on that glossy top coat,
They're
it
so,
doesn't get any better. It doesn't. I don't care if it's a hollow, a flaky bomb.
yep.
Nothing compares to me.
But I do like those, right? Like every once in a while I want
Mm-hmm.
that little sparkle or something, but a good
Yeah.
cream in like a fun, funky color. So,
Yes. I totally agree.
yeah.
Polished by Diana wants to know, when first starting YouTube, were you worried about people who knew you in real life finding your channel?
Yes.
I was too.
Like I don't know why, because it's not like, you know, people do really weird stuff in their lives, right? But
Yeah, this is one of the least weird things.
yeah. But I was so nervous. I like didn't tell people for a really long time. I remember when I told one of my best friends, we were like having a little work date. We were doing work together, and I was like, I have something to tell you. And she like closed her computer. She's like,
I thought you had cancer.
and I was like, I have a YouTube channel, and she was like, what? About what? Yeah. But I also didn't tell a lot of people actually that I started my brand when I started it right away. I think I just felt, I don't know, I felt like, yeah, embarrassed or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I think there's a pressure there when everybody knows what you're doing. Like, you know, when you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on a diet, I'm gonna lose all this weight." Then you tell people, and then like 5 months pass, and they're like, "Oh," and you're like, "What? Still chubby." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people, you like don't know I have a YouTube channel at all. Like, none of my coworkers do.
Really?
Actually, I told one girl, and the only reason I told her, so I gave her a bunch of nail polish for her daughters. And
Mm,
she was like, "You're getting rid of all these nail polishes? Are you gonna quit painting your nails?" And I was like, "Oh girl, no."
no.
This is like I didn't give her like 10. And so I was like, "Oh, I have a really big polish collection." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And then she asked me a few questions, and then I was just like, "Oh." So I sent her some pictures of like my room, and I was like, "I do YouTube videos and I review polishes." And she was like, "Oh my God." But she's the only person at work that knows.
Wow.
Even some of my really good friends don't know.
Wow.
I just feel like you sometimes people like you wouldn't expect to be haters or haters. I hate saying the word haters because it's very juvenile, but there are people that just like are like that, very negative.
Totally. Yeah.
And I'm so negative myself a lot of the times, like I just don't need extra negative.
Yeah, totally. And it's like just fun for me, you know? Like it's not the work that I do, I think is like really important and I care about it, but like this is just fun. And I'm like, I don't want like I have to justify it to somebody. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
don't you like I work with almost all men,
Mm,
so that's kind of weird.
yeah.
I think if I told them I reviewed nail polish, they'd be like, "What?
Right.
What does this even mean? Does nail polish need a review?"
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't. A lot of people don't know. And on that line too, do you have people that? Oh, V says our hair is gorgeous. Thank
Hi.
you. Hi, V. Um, so Hey Mercedes says she feels weird telling people how much polish I have. I do too. Um, yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
But then it's like everybody has their thing though,
Everybody
right?
has their thing.
Everybody has their thing. My husband likes to do woodwork,
Mm.
and he buys a ton of like tools for it, and you know, wood, and then my younger son is really into baseball, so he buys all kinds of baseball stuff and shoes. He loves to buy shoes. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, everybody, and then I also have a lot of yarn. That's
Oh,
another. I buy
do you
a
knit?
ton of yarn. I
Do you
crochet.
knit? Oh, you crochet? I don't think I knew that. That's
Mhm.
awesome. That's so
Yeah, I
fun.
crochet and I sell stuff that I make.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, me and my mom do craft shows and we sell stuff online
Oh,
and I have an extreme amount of yarn as well.
but you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
Yeah. So McBeagle Alley says, nail polish is my private little world. My friends don't know about my IG. Hi, Catalina. No, I agree. I feel like this is like my happy place, my happy time, and like I just don't want the negative.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I do have some of my private friends have somehow found like my nail account and they do follow it. So probably like 5 or 6 friends follow my nail account, but they haven't said anything like they like my pictures and stuff, but they
Yeah.
haven't been like, oh my god, you have a ton of polish or.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, oh, you should do my nails, and I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe when COVID's over, you can come over. I wish I had a nail friend close. Do you have a nail friend close too?
I don't. So I do Janine, who's smallish. She is one of my husband and I's good friend's sister. And so I used to see her every once in a while. She would come up. She doesn't live here, but she would come visit. So
Oh, that's fun.
yeah.
I know I was always so I talk a lot with Mervy from Instagram, Amy, and then Catalina from Gotta Love Polish and Ebony from Crazy for Nails. And we talk every day on like Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, if we live close to each other, we could like come to each other's house and do each other's
Wow.
nails and share polish. Yeah, like that would be my dream.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
She's Elizabeth and Veronica says she feels people don't get it. It's hard to explain how awesome the nail polish community is.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I feel like there's some really, really sweet people that do polish.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like extremely sweet people.
But like fun colors and pretty pictures and yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then you get to feel nice too. So, wow, I've taken up an hour and 10 minutes of your night. So,
Oh, great. Thank you for inviting me.
yes, thank you for coming. I know I asked you so last minute. I felt so bad because I was like, someone canceled on me and I need somebody else.
It was great.
But this will be posted on my YouTube channel and then you can also watch it here. I'll have it saved to my IG Live. And exciting news, my next polish talk, I'm going to have Jill from Glisten and Glow.
Ooh, fun.
Yes, I'm so excited because I've been trying to get makers, and you makers are a very shy bunch. Not you, but a lot of the makers are a very shy bunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like, I have my YouTube channel, so I'm used to talking about it, right? But
Yeah,
it's get in front of the camera. Yeah.
some of the other makers are very shy.
Well, that's exciting. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, this someone says that they gift polish to get people hooked. That's a smart move.
Then you use your own friends. Like if you don't have nail polish.
Yeah, you try and sucker people into it. Okay. Well, you have a good night, Walker, and I'm super excited about your spring collection, and I hope the launch goes great on Sunday. And thank you. We'll see everybody. Bye.
Ready?